And a theme of this show, 119 episodes in, has been Saudi Arabia's progress, not just construction, but also social progress, economic progress. Two new announcements and developments for Saudi Arabia happening this week. There's new announcements and new developments and new projects happening almost every day, almost everywhere you look. It's happening across the kingdom, not just in major cities. So in Riyadh, where my family is for the next few months, as we discussed, the view from my apartment in Al Malga is essentially just a construction site in every direction, north, south, east, and west. It's amazing. And they do work extra long hours here, especially into the evening, which is interesting as well. Yeah. Traffic is being diverted all over the place to make way for these massive new developments, like the new Sports Boulevard area near CAFT, the King Abdullah Financial District. King Salman Park, which we've talked about before on the program, is massive. So 2024 for Saudi Arabia is known now as the year of the camel, which I kind of think is not a good choice for Saudi Arabia. It should be, the motto for Saudi Arabia this year should be, pardon my dust, because there's so much going on. And camel, I mean, I know they're celebrating it, but it seems like the slower mode of transportation. And right now, Saudi Arabia is on warp 5, just like full speed ahead into the future. It's incredible to see. And you were here recently, Richard, as well. It's just literally, pardon my dust, because there's a lot of dust that is created by these construction projects, but there's so much happening. So anyway, 2 new projects were announced in the last few days. And these are sort of projects that I think we'll hear more and more about going forward that are just now still in the conceptual stage. First, here outside of Riyadh in Qiddiya, a new stadium is being built to host 2 of Riyadh's top football teams. Look at that congruency with your one big thing, Richard, Al Hilal and Al Nasser.
Nice.
And it will be one of the main stadiums for the World Cup in 2034 when they finally cement that. It is the Mohammed Bin Salman Stadium. It is perched on a cliff overlooking Qiddiya, and it looks so futuristic, Richard. It looks like it wandered away from Niam and found a nice place to sit with an amazing view outside of Riyadh and sat right there on the side of Qiddiya. Architecture studio Populous revealed the design for the stadium. And this is part of the Qiddiya Entertainment District, which will have a retractable roof for the stadium and a pitch and seat 45,000 people. That's pretty large by a stadium standpoint. I mean, they can go up to 100,000 for college football and other, stadium sizes, but that's a pretty good sized stadium, especially to be located on the sides of a cliff. One side of the stadium will be a large retractable LED wall, which will be used to broadcast live events, films, laser shows. When retracted, it will reveal an opening that allows the pitch for our American listeners. Half of you are in America. Is a field, 3-sided seating to overlook the 200-meter high Tuwaiq cliff that the stadium is perched upon. Quote, it is set to be the world's first fully integrated venue with a combined retractable roof, pitch, and LED wall, an architectural innovation offering unparalleled versatility and allowing the space to transform into a different event mode in a matter of hours, which is kind of innovative. It's a super flexible sort of event sports space. The rest of the building will have a geometric style, be covered with digital screens. The whole thing is like one big kind of block building of screens, which is wild. For those of you watching on YouTube, you're seeing it right now, but if you haven't seen it, and you're listening to the podcast, check it out. Just Google Mohammed Bin Salman Stadium in Qiddiya. It's really quite rad. The stadium will then kind of be surrounded by towers and buildings that are going to house offices and entertainment spaces connected by an internal street, also covered by LED screens. I wonder if they are maybe the street itself will have LED screens. That wouldn't even surprise me these days. It'll all sort of direct visitors to openings and cliff edge views. This is from the publication Dezeen, I think is design, but it's D-E-E-N. We've featured it many times in the Sustig News Review. Quote, the stadium exterior is formed by a collection of modular cubes that act as an extension of the Tuwaiq cliff, framed by portals that glimpse into the future of the city. The cubes and portals spill down the cliff to create a massive digital canvas that interacts with users at different scales, from street-level vistas to the 3-sided seating bowl experience to citywide views, transcending the stadium typology. Really, just this is my one big thing, because you can't see this and not want to learn more. And the more you see and the more you learn, it's like addicting. You're like, this is really incredible. So anyway, as I mentioned, this is not just for soccer or football. Host a range of events in sports, entertainment, culture, boxing, esports, concerts, theater performances. Qiddiya is, of course, one of 14 giga projects, and that will be mostly entertainment, concert halls, a racetrack. We're going to mention it, Richard, a Jack Nicklaus branded golf course, Six Flag
Yes.
theme park, and of course, it wouldn't be the Saudi giga project for entertainment without the world's longest, tallest, and fastest roller coaster. So yeah, this is just so rad. I can't wait to see it. So cool. They're doing something completely different and new for a stadium. And of course, Populous designed the Buffalo Bills Stadium in Buffalo, New York, which is a really expensive stadium that is awesome, even for the viewer on TV, as well as the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the UK. So they're kind of like the trendy stadium designer firm, I guess. Anyway, just super cool. I mentioned two projects. The other one that we got a little look at, it's been announced before, but we have a lot more in terms of details about it, and that is the rig, the forthcoming project. We have some sort of brand new designs for, and now we have more of a precise location for where it will be built. The rig is truly like a difficult to describe new theme park. It's built on an oil rig in the middle of the sea, so you have to get to it. But it will have 3 hotels, I believe. And now we know it'll be about 40 kilometers from the shore, which is actually quite far. I mean, that's not just a short little ferry ride. That's a significant journey. And it's near Al Junaid Island and the Berry oil field off the shore of Saudi Arabia's eastern coast. The offshore tourism project will be funded by a small, tiny, little local investment shop known as the PIF. It is inspired by offshore oil platforms. It is meant to celebrate the legacy and heritage of Saudi Arabia's long oil and gas history. It looks dope. I don't know how to really describe this, Richard. I would like for you to try maybe, but the now we have some really detailed renderings that look really cool. Yeah, as I mentioned, 800 rooms in 3 hotels, 11 restaurants, a marina, helipad, extreme sports adventure park, esports, diving, theater, all of this. And it's being set up by the PIF, of course, joking that they are small. They're massive and preponderant around here. And they have set up by a project called the Oil Park Development Company. So yeah, I mean, look, just 2 brand new entertainment buildings, complexes, contributions to Saudi Arabia's ambitions to be a stronger tourism destination and also a cooler place to visit. I mean, real things to come see. This stadium and the oil rig are 2 things that are going to be unique in the world. So anyway, my one big thing is really 2 big things and emblematic of a Saudi Arabia that is just full steam ahead, embracing change.
That's a good one, and it's fun. It's exciting, and the YouTube listeners and watchers will get the benefit of seeing pictures of it because it's hard to imagine. I don't know what you mentioned. You used it, just sort of mind-boggling. And we've talked about it before. If you are an architectural firm or design firm, man, you want to be in Saudi because they're just letting it fly. You know, you look at that Qiddiya Stadium, and that escarpment. So you said 200 meters, so over 600 feet, and you know it's seating 445,000 people without one side because one side is just an open space, either a screen or open space. And like if you're watching a game, you're looking out over, and it's open, and you're looking out over this amazing escarpment and this amazing view. I wonder sometimes if an errant soccer ball can actually be blasted into the valley. But uh, it's the images are mind-boggling. And Qiddiya I find very interesting because, and we've talked about this before on the show, it was one of the first giga projects that sort of got a lot of air, and then it just sort of languished, just sort of disappeared. Nothing was going on. It didn't seem there was construction, but then recently it's been relaunched and it's getting a lot of obviously a lot of play, a lot of push, a lot of exciting things like this. Populous also, I believe, did the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Did they really? Because that is super cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they did that. And I was laughing about the Buffalo Bills Stadium because, as we know, it was under 6 feet of snow this last weekend. They literally had people. They sent out a call for all citizens, and Buffalo's a big football town. All citizens to come and try and shovel out everything. And even then, it was a mess. But anyway, all amazing stuff. I will say this, and we've talked about this before. I think I did do a one big thing on this, and that was how pleased I was that the finance minister Al Jadaan came out and said, some of these projects are going to be extended. You know, 2030 is not the terminus for everything we're doing, and it has to be that way. There's so many things. I mean, they just announced the 10 cities that are going to be part of NEOM. I mean, 10 cities, all of them amazing, jaw dropping projects. And and Al Jadaan said certain projects can be expanded, to 2033 or 2035, but then some projects will be rationalized. And I have to admit, and we watch what's going on in Saudi Arabia, and we're constantly, I think we regularly recognize that, while we're looking for implementation, we have announcements, we're looking for implementation. And I think we regularly acknowledge that they're really, really making real progress across a lot of fronts. So there's been real implementation coming in place. But I swear there's so much coming. I'm just wondering which ones will be rationalized. And I laughed about the stadium in Qiddiya. By the way, Populous is also building another stadium in Qiddiya for esports. And you remember that, if you've probably seen that image too. It's kind of much more glass and a different kind of look entirely. But that's also in Qiddiya. So the Populous is obviously very, very active. But I laughed when I said, all right, this is the Mohammed Bin Salman Stadium. That one will not be rationalized.
That's going to be a good one. Yeah,
it's gonna happen. If it's got the crown prince on his name on it, it's gonna happen. So whenever the money is out there in Vegas on which projects, have a greater chance to be rationalized or extended, I wouldn't put my, MBS Stadium is not going to be rationalized.
Yeah, I don't know if they're running odds on that, but you're right. That'd be like a 1.1 to 1. Basically, don't even bother betting. We're just going to give you your money back, because that definitely will not be rationalized. But I was talking with a friend about this. It's actually quite amazing. Everything that the Crown Prince has done, Vision 2030, everybody's bought in, and the product, or the result, I should say, of that is everything you see around here. It's the buy-in and it's the vision, and the vision is, King Salman and it's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman who are really driving the charge, and who have the vision and are enacting the vision and getting everybody aligned with it, from the government to the private sector to citizens. Very few things that are new here are actually named after Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, which I think is interesting, and I think worth noting. So when I had the same reaction you did when this stadium was announced, it was interesting because not everything is the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman Airport or highway or anything like that. It's kind of rare. So yeah, you're right. This is going to be, bet on this happening and being awesome, because this they're not going to. That almost says, hey, we're for sure this is going to end up maybe even better than, which is good.